Okay, if you regularly watch So What, you are aware that we have already discussed the possibility of discovering silicon-based alien life. But what does it matter that we didn't have to travel very far into space to find these living forms? What if you were the one who was created of silicon rather than carbon? How would life have changed on silicon? What kind of body would you have in the future? How different from Earth would it have to be for you to exist in silicon? This is So What. Then, what would occur if humans were silicon-based rather than carbon-based then? A bit of an attention hog is carbon, and with good cause. The main component of all life on our planet is carbon. Your body has an 18% carbon content. You wouldn't have any DNA without it. Contrarily, silicon is one of the elements that is found in the largest abundance on Earth, second only to oxygen. The substance makes up about 25 to 30% of the crust of our planet. The astronomer Julius Scheiner initially proposed the possibility of silicon-based life in 1891. The idea is supported by silicon and carbon's same chemical properties. Both elements form polymers when they combine with oxygen. Large molecular structures, in other words. On Earth, silicon dioxide is created when it interacts with oxygen. This substance, commonly referred to as silica, is a crucial component of sand. Less naturally, the manufactured substance known as silicone has both silicon and oxygen. In addition to breast implants, this liquid or rubbery substance is found in everything from electronics to oven mitts. But life cannot exist in these silicon-based molecules, unless you're discussing the So What cosmos, that is. Despite the fact that they are chemically very similar, everything would be different if silicon were the foundation of human life rather than carbon. Both elements can form double bonds with oxygen, but silicon's connections with oxygen are often weaker. That implies that life on Earth based on silicon would be undeveloped and unsophisticated. Your body couldn't possibly have existed in its intricate configuration of organs, bones, and tissues. But due to the human form as you have known it, you would no longer be a human, but a blob of silicon chemicals. Most likely, every other living thing on Earth would also be a type of blob. The mere fact that you were to exist at all would be a miracle. Additionally, it would be quite improbable for a simple living form like you to be able to procreate. You would be too delicate. This is crucial when considering how silicon-based life could have started on Earth in the first place. Chemical life requires a medium that allows molecules to move. Liquid water is the ideal medium for carbon. Things can enter and exit the cell via water. Water, though, couldn't help your new human chemistry evolve. In the presence of water, silicon's double bonds would disintegrate into single bonds. That implies that rather than developing into the shining example of bone and flesh that you are right now, you would change into a silicate rock. A separate liquid would be required for a silicon-based life for it to share a common liquid component. A potential medium is sulfuric acid. This is due to the fact that the silicon structures, which typically degrade in water, would be more stable in sulfuric acid. The effects of this would go well beyond the fact that every living thing on Earth would be entirely unique. Now, the entire planet would also be altered. Oceans of sulfuric acid would be required for life to emerge, and the atmosphere would also require significant modification. Oxygen wouldn't necessarily be required for silicon-based life. Due to the fact that silicon would react with oxygen in a manner similar to how it would react with water, it would change into a rock. Earth's temperature would also need to alter significantly. You would require a very heated atmosphere to thrive if you were composed of silicon. When I say very heated, I mean excruciatingly hot. The melting point of silicon is 1410 degrees Celsius. In other words, Earth would have to be a very hot, acidic area for this element to exist in any form other than a solid. It would be covered in billions of blobs of life, none of which could reproduce. What are the chances that these blobs will turn intelligent like you, a carbon copy of them? Unfortunately, It seems like we have strayed into science fiction. The idea of silicon-based humans on Earth brings up several important issues. How did life start on our planet, for instance? What circumstances must exist for life to keep evolving? What would transpire, though, if events took a different turn? Whatever the responses to those queries, life on Earth developed in the manner that it did. It was also the ideal carbon-based recipe for you to develop into the person you are today. Who knows, though? It's possible that life didn't actually begin on Earth after all. Say what? I think that would make a wonderful so what narrative.